It's Kevin Flynn, Alex Taylor, live in Rapid City, Need to Know Morning Show for Donald Trump's shindig tonight at the event center here. We're going to get Dino with a 3-degree guarantee here in just a second. There's a walkout song for Trump. Don't stop believing.
Oh, yeah.
We got to stay in the fight. And I would tell you, Alex, the buses are here. I told you about the bus of moms and grandmas and aunts and all. I don't think there was an uncle in the group. I think it was all ladies. The ladies are running around here. Scott Hennon's here. There's red, white, and blue everywhere. Hats. And we turn around and here's T.
We met T.
He's a gentleman that has got a suit on. First of all, let me, if you can see the stream going, we've got the stream. He's got the red Trump won tie.
Awesome.
Yep. Trump won. He's got the Never Surrender hat on.
Perfect.
And look at the back of the hat.
Yep. Oh, the back of the hat says Trump 45 and 47.
Awesome.
Here's another hat.
Okay.
See this one? The world needs Trump.
The world needs
Trump.
Trump.
The world needs Trump more than ever.
More than ever.
More than ever.
Yeah.
Get the real deal on
T, where are you from originally? Are you an immigrant?
Good morning. FM 92.3 FM, the flag. I'm
very
so honored and happy that, this is my first time visiting South Dakota.
Okay.
And I flew in last night, and from South Vietnam. We lost the country of South Vietnam after the Vietnam War to the communists. And we have built our American dreams here with the community, the biggest community of Vietnamese outside Vietnam in Little Saigon, California. Now we see America, my beloved country, being swallowed by communism, for sure, because we lived through communism.
You just gave me goosebumps saying that. Yeah. I'm not kidding you.
Yes, we lived through communism. We experienced. There's this horrible story that my other patriot can tell you that
right.
We risked our life on the sea at the boats, people, and then in the jungle, and then we came here and we thought this is the best country in the world. It's still, because we still have hope. We have President Trump who's leading this MAGA movement. And that's why I'm here.
Hey, come on. We all won the lottery. We woke up in America today.
Yes.
You agree to that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have faith that God allowed the bad people to steal the 2020 election for a reason. So more people can wake up and we can prevent a civil war. And then, now people have waken up. And I think there is no way that they will do it again. They might try to steal the election again, but they're going to fall into God's trap, and then, well, all these evidence is going to come out.
Trump is the best person to stop this.
T, I got to ask you how many rallies you've been to for President Trump.
Rallies and events, and historic tour with Bill O'Reilly and private fundraising, maybe 26, 27.
Unbelievable.
But I've known people that been on the tour more than 100 times.
How long have you been in the country? How long have you been in America?
35 years.
And what do you do? When you're not going to Trump rallies?
I am a dentist from California.
Oh, very good.
I had to cancel my schedule, my patient.
I got this one right here.
Not now, Kevin.
It's a little loose.
Not
it's a little sore.
The guy's not talking.
Whatever you have.
Hennon will get a pliers after that. Don't worry about it.
Whatever. T, help me out, man.
But T, I do want to ask you, you've gone enough rallies to be part of the Front Row Joes. Tell people what the Front Row Joes are.
The Front Row Joe are the people that have, like either experienced this awakening that we about to lose this country. So, people say, okay, you're Trump fanatic. You're too crazy about Trump. That's why you here a day, 2 days, sometime a few days ahead of the rally. And then they want to go around town and educate the people and find out, why President Trump doing a rally there. But actually, most of us are the one that really not, standing there watching the country being turning into communism. So we are working hard. We have a full-time job. We have to, just put it aside. And I'm happy that my wife would allow me to do this, and my kid. And, I'm flying every time I follow President Trump. I fly in for the event. I'm flying back for job or to work.
I bet you're the only dentist in the Front Row Joes, too. I love that.
Oh, what a great story. I mean,
a great story.
Immigrant South Vietnam. Knows what we're dealing with. Well, keep in the fight, brother.
I just want to have just one comment. I want to thank President Trump. Because of him, we all became suddenly real patriot, real Americans. You know?
Yeah.
Without him, people just take it for granted. You know how whatever going on.
The dream.
The best country in the world will take care of the citizen, and we represent this democracy that we spread democracy so-called around the world. But now people like me have to learn about the Constitution and have to find out who are the real patriots. Those immigrants that come here and love this place and want to make it a better place for future generations.
Amen.
That's what we want.
That's a transcending message. I don't care where you're from. I don't care where you are. Freedom, the chance to just make a better life for yourself and your family. Those are such common threads.
Absolutely.
That is the common thread of life.
It's the common thread of life, but it's not new.
Right.
It's been back to the founding fathers. But what T is, I think, saying so well is you're part of a new wave, an awakening of people who are saying we need to fight for this country. We need to engage. What's happening? And without Trump, that doesn't happen.
Exactly.
Let me tell you, I come from a community with different people come from different faith, and then people. The Buddhist, Christian, Hindu, Muslim, everybody praying for Trump. So that's why I made this. The world needs Trump more than ever in 2020.
That's right.
Thank you.
Well,
Thanks,
Doctor, pleasure. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
That's
you.
T.
God bless you.
God bless you, sir. Yeah, we're meeting so many great ones. Yeah,
That's the best part of those Trump rallies. The people you meet there, the heart and soul of America.
I'll tell you what. There is a there is a buzz where I am right now. It's crazy.
Oh boy, the excitement is in the air.
Somebody messing with my my buttons here. Hang on.
That.
There we go. Yeah, someone's pushing my buttons.
Uh-oh.
We're all set though. All right, we're good. Need to Know Morning Show, AM 1100, FM 92.3, The Flag. It's Kevin and Alex. Kev, yours truly, along with Video Mike and Scott Hennon in Rapid City at the Event Center, the Summit. They call it the Monument, the arena that Trump's in. There's actually 3 arenas here. A great big one called the Summit. There's a middle-sized one, which is where Trump is, called the Monument, and then there's a smaller one. And there are buses pulling in. There are people from all over the country, from all over the world, that, like our friend T, who we just met, the dentist from California, who migrated from South Vietnam and knows all about, and he literally gave me goosebumps saying that's what he's witnessing here is exactly what he saw. And Alex, you'll love it. They're walking around, him and his buddy right now, with a huge Trump saves Trump. What does it say? Trump saves America. Very good. So that's what's going on.
He's got a lot of fans.
Came down here to do this. Oh, or the guy just took off and ran with it. Trump 2024 Save America. You're looking good, buddy. Yeah, don't overdo it now, though. It's a nice, cool morning, though, T. What's his name? Mike. Mike's running around with the flag. So that's going on here. We've got a good-looking weekend for you. It's Friday.
Beautiful weekend.
Nice, cooler, yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah, we're at 57 right now, warming up to 78 today. So it's going to be a beautiful day. Looks like we've got 40% chance of rain tomorrow. So, we'll get some, but no big deal, really. And Saturday's high around 72. Sunday, we've got sunny skies and 72 degrees, and back to work Monday, 71. And it looks like around 70, mid 70s all next week. So it's going to be a good week for cruise night on Thursday and then West Fest on Saturday. So yeah, lots of stuff and still good weather.
When's the last cruise night again?
This Thursday.
Yeah, this
coming Thursday.
Now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got that going on. What's the big party in Moorhead is happening? Greater Moorhead.
That's this week too. Is that Tuesday? I think.
Let's say and then and then all the stuff at Chihinkapa, and we're getting ready for fall. All the corn mazes and stuff will be coming in no time. Gonna be
football. Vikings play on Sunday.
Yeah. Well, yeah, NFL season is underway. It's official. Last night I couldn't believe the Lions actually got the win in Kansas City, defending Super Bowl champions, by the way. Hey, want to remind you, we're brought to you by our friends at Laney's. Laney's has got a deal going, always amazing. Any one of their high efficiency furnaces, you qualify. There's a couple of things, go through that process. They come in, put the new, maybe a new Coleman in. Okay. You're going to let them come in, agree to the maintenance agreement. Once a year, they come in, do all the work on the thing, and you're covered for life.
Life. Wow.
Nobody else does that. Check around. Nobody else does it. Laney's will, and great work in the lakes area. They'll come out, evaluate the whole deal. And that's anything you need. HVAC, duct cleaning. I mean, all of it. They do amazing work, and they're never an overtime fee. They're wonderful people. And you'll find out more at laneysinc.com, LANEYS Inc.com. Laney's Inc. Nobody does it better than Laney's. And check out the Lifetime Furnace Guarantee. It's what they're all about. And Dane's here. Dane, I caught up with Dane, met Dane last night. Dane Sensor. And so Dane showed me a video of a flag ceremony that we talked about, Alex, when Trump was here in 2020 that was going on at Sturgis. And Woody, if you remember the name Woody, that's Rod Woodruff. He's the owner of the Buffalo Chip Campground.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
And longtime friend, known Woody for probably 25, 30 years. He's an awesome guy. He's built the Buffalo Chip into what it is. Never forget doing tequila shots with him and Robbie Knievel one night, Dane, out at the Chip one night. Kid you not. But so Dane says, we're talking about this flag, and I said, oh, man, and we were just hanging out last night, checking the signal. He happened to be here. Good morning, by the way. How are you?
Morning.
Get right up on that mic.
Morning.
Oh, wait a minute. You're on this one. Go ahead, talk.
Yeah, morning.
We got him. Hang on.
Still waiting.
Can you hear him?
No.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
No, a little bit. Crank him up.
How about now?
Can you hear me now?
Yep,
There you go.
that's good.
All right, all right, something's wrong with that one, but okay, we'll figure it out. Anyway, so he shows me this flag. I'm like, dude, I remember that, because it was, and now out at the Chip, they've got a massive array of veterans, kind of a veterans park thing going on out there. But I said, man, were you there? And he said, yeah, I did it. I said, what do you mean you did it? Well, my brother and I, we brought that. That's our flag. We did. What do you mean that's your flag? Things like 2.5 football fields long. I said, yeah. So tell the story, dude. You and your brother John. Now you're from Colorado, right?
Well, I originally started in communist California.
Oh yeah,
and
okay.
I escaped there in 2020.
Good for you.
And one of the things we heard, because I had done a flag in San Diego years ago in '91, Welcome Home the Troops for Desert Storm. We did a human flag with one of the radio stations down there. So I thought, Trump is coming to South Dakota for fireworks at Mount Rushmore. And I told my brother, says, I want to go and bring the world's largest flag, because the guy who owned that flag, Ski Dembski, he has 2 super flags. And the one of them, the story behind it is, at the time he's passed away, God bless him, he had a flag, and it was the world's largest American flag. And the reason he had that flag, because he found out that up till him making that flag, the world's largest flag in the world was made in China.
Oh, that's wrong.
that irritated him. So he went out and he made the world's largest flag made in the USA. And that flag is 3,000 pounds. It's 505 feet long, 255 feet, and 3,000 pounds. Well, I had done his super flag 91. And I thought, okay, I want to do the world's largest flag because Trump's coming to Mount Rushmore. And so my brother and I were in Colorado visiting my sister. And California already kicked us out, said, you're not doing any flag here, because of the scamdemic was going on. Mm-hmm. So anyway, long story short, we decided we're going to get this flag, world's largest. We're going to bring it to South Dakota because this is a free state, and we can do it here. Governor Noem opened us with welcome ours. We came here not knowing anybody, and never been to South Dakota. So we show up in May, at the end of May, to bring this flag here. So we had to find somewhere to put it, help people get us to unfurl it, because it takes 600 people to unfurl it. Oh. 600 patriots, veterans to unfurl that flag.
Wow.
And it's the world's largest American flag. So anyway, we finally located Buffalo Chip. Woody Woodruff said, you can do it here. So we planned it out on July 3rd to unfurl that, because we wanted Trump to do a flyover that we knew he was coming in. And so anyway, that day we had to do a little practice run, The second we started the practice run, it started pouring rain. So we got delayed till all the way back till 11:03 p.m. that night. And in this background, there was lightning on the west, east. It was raining and sprinkling, and the winds were prevailing 25 to 35. And the owner of the flag said, "We can't unfurl this flag if it's over 25 miles an hour,
Right? Yeah,
because
too windy.
it'll take off like a parachute." And anyway, finally, she came up to us, says, "Let's do it." And that flag started unfurling, and it was incredible. It was just the most breathtaking thing. There was one girl that caught a gust of wind, and it pulled her about 10 feet in the air, because you're supposed to let go if the wind. And my brother had to pull her down. And also one of the grommets hooked a bumper on a SUV and flipped it.
Come on.
But that was the only
Come on.
that was the only hazard that was there. But God willing, that flag was unfurled. We did a beautiful video of it. It's on thankyoutrump.com. You can watch it. It's just breathtaking, with some beautiful music behind it. And we even did started a website, epicflagevents.com. You
Love
can watch
it.
it there. But the nicest 2-minute video you'll ever see is on thankyoutrump.com. It was dedicated to him. The script on there was dedicated to him. So it was epic. That's all I can say. And it's like coming here this morning. I came here this morning. I showed up, and it was still at dusk. And right below where the Trump's he's going to be tonight, was this beautiful rainbow. Now, if that isn't a God divine moment, I don't know what is. But things like that happen when Trump's around. The excitement in the air, it's just wonderful, just everything. So I'm here, and we're just going to enjoy it. The energy's always incredible.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
I've got a question for you. What do you think about all these indictments they're trying to do against Trump? What is your opinion on the?
My opinion is this: it's insanity. It's criminal what they're doing. Everybody knows what they're doing. They're trying to stop Trump because they know he's going to be the president. And quite frankly, they can put 100 of documents. Now, here's somebody who had the best life in the world, a billionaire, beautiful family, beautiful kids, a life of just incredible life. And he's being charged with espionage? Give me a break.
Yeah, I always talk about that, Dane. It's like, talk about motive for a second. Who's more motivated?
Yeah. Oh, he's really interested in espionage.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody knows.
Look at Joe Biden.
Exactly.
It's criminal what they're doing. They should be indicted for criminal acts.
Being a traitor. Yeah.
Court is coming.
All right, brother. Well, hey, congrats on the when's the next big flag event?
We're gonna do one next year at Sturgis again, and it's gonna be
Alex.
It's gonna be it's gonna be an event that the whole world's going to be wanting. We're during the Sturgis bike rally.
If Alex and Alex have got a new sporty and just getting to be learning to ride it.
I am not bringing my bike there. There's too many people.
Well, you can ride with me, but could Alex and I be a part of the unfurling if we're on the team?
Yeah, absolutely. Here's a little teaser. In fact, we'll make you guys part of the ultimate bike rally. Not only bike rally, but we're going to add a little flair to it, because we did the truckers rally. We had our flag there. So we're going to add one little addition to that, and we're going to put in a truckers rally, bikers rally, RV rally, anybody rally, and it'll be extraordinary because we're going to do it at the Sturgis bike rally.
Whoa, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be something that people will just. It's going to be a worldwide event, and we're going to do it next year. We're already in the planning stages. We're going to have some incredible bands. John Rich is.
Sure.
Yeah, we're coming.
We got some great entertainment. We're even working on getting Oliver Anthony there.
Oh, there we go.
So there's a lot planned. And there's a new video that just came out where they dubbed President Trump's voice into the Anthony Miller song, and it's a classic.
Oliver Anthony,
Oliver Anthony,
Well, and I didn't tell you, Alex, but I did bring my guitar for the trip today, and we're right by where the line is forming, and I'm actually as we wrap up What's on Your Mind this morning, right before 11 o'clock. I'm going to see if I can't lead a little sing-along here at the rally to Oliver Anthony's Rich Men north of Richmond.
There we go.
I've been working on it.
There was quite a sing-along on the plane when we left D.C. after the insurrection. That was fabulous, too.
Exactly.
Yeah, you'll have everybody joining in on that one. That's for sure. That'll be a massive sing-along. And
I've
it'll be
never had
great
a song. I never had a song stuck in my head the way that song.
Oh, make sure you record that.
Oh, yeah. Mike's here. We're getting it all. Going to go viral with it, I hope.
Absolutely. And the people will definitely join in. They love that song.
Well, you go gather them up. We're going to do it right before
I'm going to tell
11.
them. I'm going to spread the
My
word.
man.
Say, get ready, get queued up.
Ready to sing.
Clear your voice and get ready to
Get
sing.
the frogs out of your throat.
Yeah, for sure.
Our
buddy.
black, what we call it, the blue collar dance.
Awesome.
Yeah, you bet, baby.
Well,
Nice
you guys,
nice to meet you, Dane.
thanks for having me, and God bless you guys, and keep all you're doing to save America. So it's gonna be a wonderful day and a wonderful.
Yeah, and
God
we'll
bless.
see you at Sturgis next year.
Well, you'll be in the bike rally. I already signed you guys up.
Perfect.
All right.
God bless you.
Thanks, Dane. You bet. God bless you, sir. Dane Sensor, his brother John, they're doing the Epic. And what's the one more time, the website for the Epic?
Epicflagevents.com.
There.
Come to that website, sign yourself up, get ready for next year. It's going to be
All right.
epic.
All right, my brother. Well, there you go. All right, we're going to get a break in here. We got Scotty's chomping at he's working the room, man. I'll tell you, as he does. He has got a whole group of people over there that are all different kinds. Man, there is red, white, and blue everywhere. Well, Alex, you know what's going on.
Oh, I
here.
do.
It's buzzing already.
You are looking live at a beautiful Rapid City, South Dakota, where the 45th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, will be tonight for a South Dakota Republican Party fundraiser that has brought people from every corner of America to this event. It's been a blast this morning, meeting some of the people that they have real jobs, they have families,
Yeah, they do.
and yet they make it a point to get to as many of these events as they possibly can. It's really inspiring. And we talked to one gentleman earlier, you heard on the Need to Know Morning Show, who was a native of South Vietnam, talked about living through what communism did to that country, and said because of Donald Trump, he's awakened, and he's a dentist in California, but many times as he can, he gets in an airplane, flies out, flies home.
Unbelievable.
Just a patriot. Now, if Donald Trump had never been on the scene, there'd never been a Donald Trump nominee for president in 2016, or obviously ultimately elected president. Kev, do you think we'd have a similar movement? Or would
No.
it be back to the same old kind
No.
of boring
Yes.
100 people in the room and make it look good on TV, but nobody's really there? Just, I have a hard time envisioning
Right.
this kind of an awakening
Yep.
from people who are
Exactly.
all
I know
in
exactly what you're
on the
saying.
Constitution and the
Yep.
founding fathers. And they live and breathe this.
Transcends all colors,
Yep.
all races, all creeds, all genders, all whatever.
And I'm sure that people, sure that people that are on the left, Kev, think they're nutcase. I mean, liberals think if you come from California and
Oh,
you're
yeah.
a dentist and you're in
Oh,
Rapid City,
yeah,
South Dakota,
yeah.
you're a whack job.
Yeah. Oh,
You're
yeah.
nutty.
Yeah. What's wrong with you?
Insurrectionist, probably.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How dare he wear that hat or that tie?
But folks, to dismiss this movement is to not understand what is happening in America right now. It really is. I mean, again, take Republican or Democrat out of the equation. A current president and his judiciary and every apparatus of government, including like-minded Democrats all across the country in states attorney positions and attorney general positions in different states, are pouring every ounce of their energy into taking down Donald Trump, who is a political opponent of the current occupant of the White House. If a Republican was doing that to a Democrat, it would be criminal, just as it is that a Democrat is now doing it to his political opponent. This is stuff that happens in banana republics.
Exactly. Yep.
I like Alan Dershowitz. He's on Newsmax a lot. And he always talks about when these various events happen, like Georgia happened, or, Florida and the document debacle. He always adds another banana. He scores them on 1 to 10 bananas
Right.
on what is happening, meaning someone as smart is Alan Dershowitz, a true legal scholar, and by the way, a flaming liberal, who says this is not America. This is what happens in third world countries. So that's why these people care. That's why they're here, and that's why we're here on a beautiful, beautiful day. We're going to talk with some of the folks that are here. We're going to catch up with my friend Mark, the Freedom Poet. I know he was chatting with you earlier on the Need to Know Morning Show.
Yep, great guy.
We're going to talk with some South Dakotans, including, by the way, a gentleman by the name of Chris Nelson. Chris is on the Public Utilities Commission here, but an up-and-coming Republican. And we're looking forward. I asked my friend Mark, I said, who's the up-and-comers? Who's the bench behind a Kristi Noem or any of the other elected leaders in South Dakota? And by the way, it's funny because North Dakota and South Dakota are a little different in this sense. I think there is Trump-like support for Kristi Noem in South Dakota. All right? It is passionate. It is large. She is loved. Other elected South Dakota Republicans are not exactly her biggest fan. And what's different between South Dakota and North Dakota is, obviously there is a faction of the Republican Party in North Dakota that doesn't like Doug Burgum, that thinks, Kevin Kramer and John Hoeven and Kelly Armstrong should be primaried, right? But every bit as strong a Trump faction in North Dakota as there is in South Dakota, but the South Dakota Trump fans, MAGA crowd, 100% behind Kristi, not so much with the governor of North Dakota, who's, of course, had his own battles with the Republicans there and now happens to be running for president of the United States. So it's just fascinating. It really is. We had a great conversation with Kristi Noem yesterday. If you missed that, check it out on our AM1100theflag.com hot links to the archive of the show. That was a fun interview with Kristi yesterday, wasn't it?
Oh, she's lovely.
She is lovely.
She'd get up early. A guy can hope.
She told me during the break yesterday that she is going on an elk hunt tomorrow.
I know. Yeah. Right.
And so she was getting all of her work done yesterday and today. So I imagine her schedule's packed. She said cabinet meetings and everything else because she wanted to clear the deck for part of next week so she could go elk hunting. Don't you love that?
That's awesome. She's a beast.
That's just fantastic. Now there are less people mingling here than I think would normally be mingling and waiting for the doors to open. The doors open here at 2:30 this afternoon. There have been people in line since 5 a.m. this morning, but normally there's thousands in line. That's when they need to be in line in order to be admitted into the building. This is a ticketed paid event, so it's a little bit different. But the people in line now are in line because they want to be in the front of the general admission tickets and seats. So there's still a crowd gathering well before the 2:30 door opening. And then the program starts at like 5, and the president doesn't even take the stage till 7:30. So, and you know what? Nobody complains. Everybody runs around.
Oh, no. Nobody has problem.
They're bouncing off the walls. They're so excited. We've seen them before at many rallies. It's unbelievable. I've been to Bemidji, Minnesota, and St. Paul, Minnesota, and seen them in Fargo, North Dakota. There's nothing like it.
I've been saying it all morning.
In politics.
The bus pulled up this morning. I said, everybody's grandma, aunts, and older cousins, all the ladies got off that bus all wearing red, white, and blue. It was amazing.
It's unbelievable. It really is. All right, we're going to take a break. Come back with our first guest on What's on Your Mind, live from Rapid City, South Dakota. Are you doing the bumpers?
I am.
You're doing a little...
Come on.
Bee Gees, baby.
Donald will come out of this one every once in a while, too.
Yeah, exactly right.
There's a method to my madness with the bumpers today.
Always. Be listening for the clues. And if you call and you get the clue, we won't say why he's playing the song he's playing.
Oh, no.
But
there you go.
If you get the riddle, you call and I'll make sure you get a MyPillow. Okay?
Oh, nice.
701-271-1100. This is What's on Your Mind. Why is Kevin playing Staying Alive right now? What's going on there? Back with more from Rapid City on the flag. Don't go away. Kevin, once you sing, just sing us a little bumper. Sing us in with something. Maybe
we will rock you.
How about the song you're going to do later today for the crowd here?
Oh, I'm not giving you. I'm just going to tell you. I'm not going to give you any preview on that. I'm going to tell you we're going to close What's on Your Mind today with a big sing-along. Oliver Anthony's Rich Men North of Richmond. And I brought the guitar. We're going to do a video of it. And I need our main man here to help us gather the crowd because and I know no one's done this at a Trump rally yet because the song just came out like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
It'll be viral.
So there you go.
That's sing along plan. Coming up. That's great. Here's a gentleman that has been to a Trump rally or two. What's your name, sir?
My name is Jeb.
Jeb, where are you from?
Piedmont.
California?
Piedmont, South Dakota, 25 miles up the road
Oh.
from here. So it's a short drive down to the Civic Center here this morning.
Do you play that joke on a lot of people? Piedmont? They think
No,
California?
that's the first time it's been played on me too.
I guess I'm a loony. If I think somebody's from California that's here, although I've met people from California here already.
There's a guy here from California, from San Diego.
Yeah, exactly right. So Piedmont, South Dakota, how many Trump rallies you been to?
This is number 4. I went to Omaha last year and I kind of got hooked on it. And then he was in Casper, which was very close. I took my boys to that and I ended up able to sit on the front row just through some people I randomly met, and got to meet some very amazing, interesting people here, there in Casper. Went to Alaska because I was even more hooked, and then it was Alaska. So took a quick trip up there for 4 days last year, went to the rally, met some more of the people that are already here this morning. Juliana that you talked to earlier, she was on the same plane as me on the way to Alaska last year. We've connected.
I said, man, you've been. How about you got to get together with Juliana? She's got 37.
I can't compete with Juliana. I know. And there's a lady over here on the front row, Joe's, who's been to 40 of them. So she's 10 times more than I have, more experienced with. But it's a movement, you know, and it's powerful. And there's a lot of energy around the movement, and there's a lot of really good people in the movement. It's very until you experience one, it's hard to actually define it and explain it to people that haven't been there. But it's powerful.
It sure is. Been to a few myself and could not agree anymore. There's just something magical about it. There's an energy in the room. People stand in line for, umpteen hours, sometimes overnight. And then when they get in, they have to wait another 4 or 5, 6 hours till President Trump takes the stage. It's just really nothing like it in American politics has ever been seen.
With all that standing around and waiting, though, you have to say that there's not a dull moment in the entire day. From the time that you get there in line and the people that you get to meet and communicate with, you get inside and you feel the energy, and the more people and the energy builds, and up to him walking out on stage to his famous song that he walks, God bless, God bless the USA.
Yeah,
of course.
yeah.
When you hear that song start, Showtime, he comes out and he's just for the people. He's of the people and he's for the people. And that's why so many Americans and conservatives especially are behind him. But that's why everybody should be behind him, because he is for and of the people.
We, by the way, are broadcasting live from Rapid City right in front of the monument, which is their civic center where the event will be. People are in line already. We're live streaming this as well, so you can check out our social media, and you can see Jeb dressed in a sharp blue suit and a red tie. Dare I say, you look a little like, you have the same tailor as Donald Trump.
That's kind of interesting. In 2020, before the election, I was kind of a Trump supporter. And I bought this suit on a whim. I just had a feeling about it. I'm gonna get in the Piedmont parade and dress as Donald Trump in support of him prior to the 2020 election. At which time I thought, this is a slam dunk. COVID was going on, whatever, but there's no way that Trump doesn't win this election with everything he's done for this country up to this point. But let's get behind it. Bought this suit, walked in the parade. Absolute positive responses from everybody. It's a very conservative community, but then we all know what happened. So I still have this suit that I've worn once for the parade.
Is that right?
And after the election, and I saw what happened, started kind of waking up, and I started watching some of these rallies, and I knew there's something special about this man, and he's not done yet. He keeps doing rallies. And there was one close, and I thought, if I'm going to go to this rally, I'm going to wear my suit. And so I wore the suit, and it was kind of just on a whim. And then the response that I got from people at the rally was kind of interesting. It was kind of fun. And I got a lot of positive energy from dressing like this. And, I guess you stand out when you do this. That wasn't my intent to begin with, but that's kind of where it went. Went to the next rally. And because I was dressed like this guy came up to me and he said, we started conversing. He says, nice red tie. I like it. I like your, the way you're dressed and et cetera. You're just like Trump. Obviously, it's a no-brainer. But we visited for a little bit, and he says, who are you here with? I said, just my 2 boys. And he goes, hang on, I'll be right back. And he comes back to me. He says, you're with us. And they ended up, this was in Casper. And just from visiting with him for a few minutes, they ended up putting me on the front row with this group of people and got to watch Trump up close.
Oh, my goodness. I love it. What do you do for a living, Jeb?
Just about anything I can. I was a lineman for 17 years with the government, Western Area Power Administration here in Western South Dakota. We maintained transmission lines. Worked on that I grew up in that kind of work and got that job, and In the last 2 years, though, I had quit that job and I started my own tree service business. And because I just needed a change, through COVID and the federal government, it got kind of crazy with some of the regulations and some of the stipulations that they were putting on us. And it got to the point where they were saying things such as, if you are not compliant with our mandates, talking about the vaccine mandates, by a certain dates, disciplinary action will start to take place up to and including termination, was the exact words. And when I saw that email come out from the head of the DOE, I knew at that point I needed to start looking for my next thing in life, because I wasn't going to take the jab. I just was that against it. I could see there was something wrong with it from the very beginning. I didn't like it. And I wasn't going to be told I have to do this to keep my job. That's about as un-American as you can get. And so I started looking at doing something different. And I picked up a chainsaw in my old pickup, and I realized that there was a demand for that kind of work, and I just started the business.
Good for you. That's a great story. Yeah, I can't imagine having been a federal worker through that. And like you said, follow our mandate or we can terminate you. And that is not America. That's not freedom. That's unbelievable. Good for you for standing up to it. Anybody else join you in that, or they?
Not specifically. I had a lot of backing, a lot of good people that supported me through doing what I did, and there have been some more people that have quit the federal workforce, and more so recently, I believe, than it's just not a good environment, and on so many levels for very conservative people. And I can't say that anybody actually followed me out the door, but there have been a lot of other people with feelings like mine that have made changes in their lives as well, just because of the environment they find themselves working in. It used to be a really, really great place to work and a really, really great job with great benefits, and all those things are still true, but at some point it's not worth it.
We are going to be, we hope, interviewing President Trump later today. I'm still working on the timing of all of that, but if we get a chance to do that, what question could we ask him for you? Would you ask Donald Trump if you had a minute with him?
If I could ask Donald Trump one question, that's a loaded question. Boy, there's so many things I'd like to talk to him about, so many things that I would like to ask him. One of the things that sticks out in my mind about dressing the way that I do is the number of little old ladies that have come up to me and said, "Can I get my picture with you? Can I give you a hug?" Because, and this has happened several times, because if I ever got the chance to give Donald Trump a hug and tell him how much I love him and would like to thank him for all that he's doing for us, I would do that. You might be as close as I ever get to doing that. Can I give you a hug?
Of course. Let's do the bear hug, Kev, huh? Bear hug's
right?
Coming up.
So that's what.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah.
So I guess if there was one thing that I could say to him, and not so much ask him a question, but it would be say thank you for taking the stand that you're taking and doing what you're doing and the sacrifices that you've made for he had it all. He had it all. He doesn't, like he said, I didn't have to do this, folks.
It is amazing. We'll pass that on. Good to talk to you, Jeb. Have fun in line with the Front Row Joes, and we'll see you in a little bit.
I love it. Nice to meet you all.
You as well. Back with more on What's on Your Mind live from Rapid City, South Dakota for the visit of President Donald Trump with Kevin Flynn. I'm Scott Hennon. And What's on Your Mind continues after this. Don't go away. This is What's on Your Mind. We are live from Rapid City, South Dakota for the visit of President Donald Trump. He'll take the stage at 7 tonight. Doors at this arena open at 2:30, and already here we are at 8 a.m. Mountain Time, 9 back home, and we have folks lining up already, getting ready to be in the first row for Donald Trump and the 45th President of the United States visit. For really doing this as a favor to the South Dakota Republican Party, and specifically, of course, Governor Kristi Noem, who joined us yesterday on the program. Our question of the day is this. What would you ask Donald Trump? One question. You have one question. What is it you want to know from Donald Trump? What would you ask him? Okay? We're asking that because we will be, we hope, interviewing him later today. Haven't nailed down an exact time yet, but they said we want to do an interview. Let's work out logistics after the radio show, so we're looking forward to that. So we're, rather than us asking questions, we'd rather ask people that have come from miles around and are faithful supporters of Donald Trump what they'd like to ask him. So our broadcast today brought to you by Dakota Refrigeration. Those are great folks. They really are. Their 50th anniversary on right now. Pretty amazing. ND Estate Services, Mark Wagner and his team ND Estate Services really do an incredible job. You can call them and tell them, I want to sit down and just plan a little bit and talk about an irrevocable living trust and how I could avoid probate and really give my family peace of mind. That's great. Also brought to you by our friends Matt Moxness and the team at Nodak Insurance and Stratacorp. Strata Strong. They do it right every single day. I love the folks at Strata. So thank you for bringing us the broadcast.
By the way, my buddy John Sudell's a driver for Strata. I know he's listening.
Little shout out there.
There you go, buddy.
There's lots of Strata trucks moving around, and they're all listening, and it's a great place to work, by the way. Mark Skogabor, also known as the Freedom Poet. Mark, the Freedom Poet, has been on the flag before. You're familiar to flag friends and fans. He moved to South Dakota, happened to be Rapid City a few years ago, and we caught up with him again, and he's going to talk with a few people about what they would ask Donald Trump. Right, Mark?
Well, here's Amy from San Diego. Her husband escaped communism, and she wants to say something and ask a question of Donald Trump.
Hi, Amy. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good. What do you want to ask Donald Trump?
Actually, I don't have a question to ask him. I have a statement I like to say.
Okay.
We would love to have President Trump coming to San Diego. San Diego, the whole Southern California is for Trump and is red. The election was rigged for sure, that it was stolen from us. And we need him to come back to San Diego so that we can show him the support that we have. I know that he is coming to Anaheim, Beverly Hills, and Costa Mesa at the end of the month. We will be there, and we have lots of different groups that support President Trump. We'll be getting together as caravan and rallies from all over Southern California. We'll be supporting him and welcoming him. We love to have him here.
That's so awesome. We'll pass that along. And you know what? Nothing would drive the liberals more crazy than a ginormous crowd in California for Donald Trump.
Exactly. One more statement. A lot of us came from Vietnam. We escaped communism in search for freedom. My husband here escaped 19 times. He got captured quite a few times, and he's lucky enough to be here. And we want to tell the people that freedom is not free. Freedom takes sacrifices.
Amen.
So then we do not take it for granted at all. So then we know what communism is like because we experience it. But we are being chased here. It's happening here in the United States.
You're seeing it.
And I hope that the people would, be open-minded and see what's going on right now and see it for themselves, because we're not about to give it up. We really have nothing left to lose because we lost our country. We lost everything that we have. So
you are a great American.
We are standing behind President Trump all the way.
God bless you.
Thank you, Amy.
Thanks for coming, Amy, all the way from California.
We love you, President Trump. We need you. You are the one to save this country. Thank you.
We'll pass that along. What question would you ask Donald Trump? You can call us, too, at 701-271-1100. You can also email us, studio@flagfamily.com, or you can text us, to 701-237-1590. Super producer Chris Larson is back in our studios and is keeping tabs on your text as well. Chris, if you throw those in Slack today for me, that'd be great, because I have one screen, not my usual 4. So a little challenging, Cap, with only, poor me. It's a first world problem here, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll get through it, brother. You got this.
Oh, the energy here already is just amazing, isn't it?
Unbelievable. You know what? Even last night, I thought, we pulled in, we get here, 7 o'clock local time. And I was thinking, probably, won't be anybody. There was already people milling around here. The buses, when that bus of ladies unloaded, I thought, okay, here we go. And like Juliana's one of them, the young gal we just talked. I mean, and how inspiring to, I am so, my heart fills when I hear these people that took years to get into this country. Took them years. Now we're going to pathway everybody just because they wanted a better life. What about these folks here? What about Juliana? 5-6 years of her life learning the Constitution, it's unbelievable what's going on. I'm just, my heart is full seeing these folks here.
Texter says the culture can be changed in D.C. Can it? I'd say Donald Trump tried. He tried and won more than his fair share of battles against the culture of D.C. If you're talking about the swamp and just the kind of the same old, won a lot of battles.
Yep.
I believe the most important, and it is literally life-changing for those of us that are living today watching politics is 3 Supreme Court nominees. I mean, the impact of that, lifetime appointments to the Supreme Court live on. Most pro-life president ever. Those are issues I get up every day and care about.
Amen.
And he did it. So, good question. Another listener, ask Donald Trump, what do you need from us? What can we do other than vote? What's the one thing people have to do to help? Interesting. Great question. What can we do for you? Another listener says, have you heard about any new regulations on the refineries that will make gas prices go up over $1 a gallon? Not specifically. We have Ron Ness scheduled for the program on Monday from the North Dakota Petroleum Council. He could spend not one appearance on What's on Your Mind, but hundreds of appearances on What's on Your Mind and not get through all of the onerous regulations the Biden administration had put on the oil and gas industry, which does one thing, stifle the industry and cost you more.
Yep.
Cost you more. Again, the solution to everything costing more when it comes to energy is to have more of it.
Yeah.
Simple supply and demand,
Yep, really
and get
pretty
back
easy.
to energy dominance. So we'll check that out. We'll ask Ron about that tomorrow. Scott, just joining the show. What time does the rally start today? So the rally is actually, the program itself begins at 5. And I believe the president's supposed to be on the stage 7:30. Newsmax is covering it all live. We'll have a live stream of it up as well on our social media, so you can watch it either way. If you're moving around and not in front of a TV, can't watch Newsmax, you can watch it on our stream on your phone. But there is a program that starts at 5. Christy Nome will be part of that program and many other folks to fire the crowd up. The folks have already gathered to get in. The doors don't even open here until 2:30 this afternoon, so there's a ways to go. All right, another listener says, keeping our country safe and alive. Safe and alive. Thank you, Donald Trump. What question do you have for Donald Trump? 701-271-1100. You can also call us at 855-200-1776. Leave a message and tell us what question you'd like to ask President Trump, as well as texting us at 701-237-1590 or emailing studio@flagfamily.com. Mark, anybody else want to tell us what the question they have for?
A couple of them are thinking about it. Some of these great front benchers and people that travel from all over the country.
Front row Joe.
Come on over here, sir.
Do you have a question? Oh,
Look at
yeah.
this.
We want
He's
it
got
for
the shirt
President,
on.
don't we?
This gentleman has this. Come on this side here while I see you. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I remember that. Went to New York City with us. Yeah, good to see you again. Glad you're here. Let me see your shirt. Wanted for president, awake and dangerous.
Got the mugshot. Yeah, nice.
If
With the
any of you
mugshot.
have a question,
That's fantastic. Yeah. Great to see you. Yeah,
So
that's right.
Think about it, and then we'll ask.
Yeah, you are, but that's going to be fun. Yeah. He said we're a little bit early. Where do you live again?
Whatever.
Northeast South Dakota, which is what? Veblen?
Veblen.
Sure. Yep. Yep. Awesome. That's great. Well, it's a little bit of a drive for you too. Glad you're here. Exactly. Well, you're in line early. You're going to have a great seat. That's awesome.
Beauty of having guaranteed.
By the way, we are going back to New York in
You
December.
are? Oh, get out.
Yep. Yep. We're going back to New York in December. So if you want to come along again, come on. All new sites, see everything else. We're going to be, in fact, I should announce that next week. All the details on that, because that'll fill up fast. We're going to take a tour. My wife is a aficionado of New York City, and she just knows every little nook and cranny. You know, we stay in the safest parts of town and a great hotel and stick together and have a bus ride. It's so much fun. See some great seats, especially in Christmas. Some great sights. Christmas time in New York City is spectacular, so it'll be fun. More after this on What's on Your Mind. Today, live from Rapid City, South Dakota, in our special coverage of the visit of Donald J. Trump to the neighborhood. I mean, when the 45th president comes to the neighborhood, you've got to do what you got to do. ND Estate Services, Mark Wagner, one of our fine sponsors. The folks at Dakota Refrigeration celebrating 50 years. Boy, do they make a lot of businesses go, I'll tell you. All your favorite restaurants and bars, and they just do an amazing job. Grocery stores, the whole works. They are the best of the best. Dakota Refrigeration, 50 years they're celebrating. Brought to you by Strata Corp. Strata Strong, great place to work. Check out all the careers at strata.com. You'll be amazed. They are really incredible. And also by Matt Moxness and Nodak Insurance. All part of our broadcast today, live from Rapid City. And we're brought to you also by MyPillow. You can go to mypillow.com or mystore.com and use the promo code Scott for all the great deals, or call this number, 800-506-9028. Wedding coming up yet this fall. Got a wedding anniversary soon. kids back to school, you want to send them a little treat, a little care package. How about some pillows, maybe some towels, a robe, slippers, lowest price ever now at $29.98, normally $100. So that is a great deal as well. And you can go to mypillow.com, promo code Scott for those deals. Just texted with Mike Lindell. He comes to a lot of these rallies. He said he can't make this one. He's too busy working on the election fix. So we won't see Mike here, but we know he's battling with us, and appreciate his good work all the time. All right, we have a question of the day today, and it's simply this. What question would you ask Donald Trump? We'll be chatting with him later, we hope. And we want to pass along the questions from the audience here. Early birds that are here. Sharon is here. Sharon, how are you?
I'm great. How are you, sir?
Nice to see you. First of all, you're blinged up pretty good here. You got red, white, and blue and the Trump Never Surrender t-shirt on, right?
Yes, sir.
I love it. And you have a donkey with a Make America Hat Great Again.
Yes.
Okay, Make America Great Again hat.
Yes.
And it's a donkey.
Yes.
And it says, "Get off your ass, vote MAGA."
That's right. It's actually my donkey from our farm.
Is it really?
Yes.
Really?
Do you name your donkeys?
Yes, his name's Mr. Easy.
Mr. Easy.
I ride mules, so he's just part of the crowd.
Where's your farm?
In East Tennessee, the name of it's Awesome Ass Acres.
Awesome Ass Acres.
Oh, road trip, Scotty. That's where we're going.
You're welcome anytime.
How many donkeys do you have?
I have 1 donkey and 5 mules.
1 donkey and 5 mules.
That sounds like my family.
Yeah. You'll be here all week, folks.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So what do you consider more cooperative, the donkey or the mules?
The mule, because they're half donkey and half horse, and they've got the best of both species.
So that you think that whole wives' tale then about a mule being stubborn is wrong? It should be
Absolutely.
Should be the donkeys.
That's right.
Okay, we learn something every day. Are your donkeys Democrats?
Well, not at our place. They're not.
Okay, good.
They're walkaways.
There you go.
So if you had a question for Donald Trump, Sharon, what would you ask him?
I would ask him, Mr. President, I'm 67 years old, and I think I speak for a large group in this country. What's your plan to protect Social Security and Medicare?
Oh, great question.
It is, and it's one that it seems to me Washington, D.C. and the swamp want to avoid.
Absolutely.
And keep kicking the can down the road. And I have to say, I don't know that, here would be my answer if I were Donald Trump. The most important thing we can do for Social Security and Medicaid is a growing economy.
Yes.
Because if our economy grows, those continue to be filled.
High tide, raising all boats.
But we've got to do something. If you had one solution, what would it be? Would it be raise the age of retirement? Would it be allow people the personal savings accounts that George W. Bush proposed at one time that went nowhere? What would it be to fix it?
I think that your answer for the economy is the best fix. Because when people work and the economy is booming, there are more programs that are paid into. So that all ends up helping society as a whole.
Do you worry that it's going to be there for you?
I'm not really worried. I don't worry about much. Remember, I've got mules.
That's right.
I love this woman. My favorite aunt's name was Sharon, by the way.
So you can call her Aunt Sharon.
Yeah, Auntie Sharon.
Auntie Sharon, that's right. All the way from Tennessee. How many rallies have you been to?
This is my 40th.
40 rallies. Is anybody in the crowd so far topped you on 40?
Oh, yeah. I'm just a rookie with this.
Come
There's people
on.
that's been to 70-something.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
How do you plan your trips?
Well, we don't get notice until last minute because of security. They don't announce them until 7-10 days prior. So I've got my suitcase ready. My donkeys are fed. My mules are fed, and I'm ready to go.
You remember there's a band, probably remember the Grateful Dead?
Yes.
The people
Deadheads.
The people that followed Deadheads followed Trump heads. Is it official? Can we call you guys Trump heads?
Sure.
Because Deadheads, seriously, you follow the dead around.
What do you say to people, Sharon, that think, Trump heads, Trumpsters, MAGA crowd,
extremists
that make you out to be, evil and awful and insurrectionists? What do you say to those people that don't understand why you have the passion you do for this president and this country?
They don't understand because they don't want to. They're not open-minded. If they ever came to a Trump rally, and I invite anyone, I don't care what your political beliefs are. If you come to a Trump rally, all you see is togetherness, enjoyment, pride. We're here to support the best president in history. And he wants best for this country. The other party has admitted, this isn't hearsay, they've admitted they want to destroy MAGA. Well, when you destroy Make America Great Again, that's pretty obvious is what you're wanting to destroy.
Right?
I've always thought that.
There
Even,
it
when,
is.
even President Biden says that MAGA crowd, I'm going, do you know what MAGA stands for?
Right.
These people love America.
Sure.
Well,
And every one
America's
of us
fine
share
as it
that
is,
same idealism, and we share the same goals. We all have families. We all have jobs. We all have futures, we hope. We have grandchildren that have futures. We want a future to be good for our grandchildren and future generations.
Well said. That's for sure. Hope people understand that this is about a love of country and about someone these people believe, and it's hard to argue with his 4 years as president, that fights for America unlike any politician in our lifetime.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Never seen anything like it.
I don't think, well, in my lifetime, I've never seen anything before, and I don't think anyone will ever see anything in the future.
Now, to get elected, he has the MAGA crowd, but he also needs, obviously, some other folks that might be in that mushy middle. You know what I mean? Do you think he should do anything differently to attract them?
My personal opinion, no.
Keep fighting.
He's proved himself in 4 years. When you're proven, just like he refused to do the debate, a debate is set up, to give your ideas and methods for making the country better and for you being a good politician, whatever capacity you're in.
Right.
He's already proven himself.
It's a good point. I wrote a memo to him not long ago.
Yes.
And put it in a newspaper column. And the memo was this: run against Joe Biden starting today. Forget the Republican field. You're light years ahead of everybody. Make every rally about Joe Biden rather than about Ron DeSanctimonious and the others. Would you like to see him be less critical of other Republicans and go after Biden, or do you think he has to do that?
My opinion, again, is Donald Trump is genius. We forget that sometimes in this fray that the Democrats and other people want us to be mired up in. He's genius, and what he says, I'm fine with. How he works the battle, I'm fine with.
I love it. Sharon, you're great.
Thank you, sir.
Now, who's taking care of the donkeys?
My husband.
Is he really? You left him home.
The lead
Yes, sir.
donkey.
In fact, 2 of them got out yesterday, and I had to hear about it.
Oh,
that
my
is?
gosh.
You cannot leave men alone. Yeah.
We've been married 40 years in November, and he lets me travel the country supporting the president.
I
He'd
love
be
it.
here if he could.
He's back with the asses.
That's right.
Yeah, all right. See you, Sharon.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, good to see you. We're going to chat with an up-and-coming Republican in South Dakota by the name of Chris Nelson. He's on the Public Utility Commission when we come back on What's on Your Mind. And then more of your questions for Donald Trump today from Rapid City. Happens to be in Rapid City, South Dakota. And the South Dakota Republican Party has got a long bench. A lot of folks that are going to be, future governors, maybe senators, members of Congress. And I wanted to meet a few of them. And I heard a lot of great things about this next guest, Chris Nelson. Chris is a member of the South Dakota Public Service Commission. I might add that Public Service Commissioner at one time, Kevin Kramer in North Dakota, similar body in North Dakota, just a different name, is now a U.S. Senator. So these things are important. And, of course, what they do so integral to the economy to cite these projects and whatnot. Wanted to learn a little bit more about what he does on the PUC and just talk a little bit about his time in office. Chris Nelson, thanks for joining us. How are you?
Before we start any rumors, let it be clear that I am not pursuing any higher office. I enjoy greatly working on the South Dakota Public Utilities Commission, working for the people in this capacity.
For folks that aren't familiar with the Public Utility Commission in South Dakota, what do you do? What's the mission?
So we're very similar to the Public Service Commission in North Dakota in that our prime mission is regulating investor-owned utilities, trying to keep a lid on the utility rates, a floor underneath service quality. But then we do a couple other things, such as regulating grain elevators and making sure that they're financially solvent. And then also we're charged with, as your lead-in indicated, the permitting process for certain large projects, large wind farms, large energy generation facilities, large electric transmission lines, oil pipelines, and carbon dioxide pipelines.
One of those projects is a sustained aviation fuel plant that is proposed, like $1 billion investment, which to me is just incredible. Is that an example of some of the big scale projects that you'll have to approve?
So at this point, we have not received any application from them. They do have a wind farm component, but that's going to be below the level that we would permit, so that'll likely mostly be a county issue. The rest of the plant is not something that would be under our jurisdiction, so that would not be an instance.
We talked with Governor Kristi Noem yesterday on the program. She was talking about that project and what it means, and also about projects that are proposed. I know we're not going to talk about any specific cases today because you can't when these things are being decided. But what I want people to understand is, some sort of carbon management plan is why a group says we want to come here and spend $1 billion and have sustainable aviation fuels. So you have a role in that sense that kind of investment doesn't happen without some of this other infrastructure. Am I right?
Well, yeah, I think that's certainly true, and one of the things that they are focused on in that plant is being able to produce that fuel in a carbon-free way. That's one of the reasons that they're going to build their own wind farm to generate the electricity that's needed at that facility. And again, we get involved in the large wind farms. This is going to be a little bit smaller as it will serve just that particular facility.
I imagine, like in North Dakota, a lot of South Dakotans are not signed up with John Kerry and Al Gore and the extreme eco-terrorist climate agenda. And sometimes they bristle at the idea of any kind of carbon management plan. In North Dakota, we have the ability to put it below the ground in our geology in pores, but also use it for enhanced oil recovery, which of course makes North Dakota grow. What is your take overall on having to sort of play the game of carbon management to be able to make sure that the ethanol industry, for sure, in South Dakota, which is robust, oil and gas industry thrives, not just survives, but actually could thrive? What's your take on all of that?
Well, that's an issue that I am not going to comment on. Again, as you are aware, we have two proposed carbon dioxide pipelines that the Public Utilities Commission is working through the permitting process on, and so therefore I'm simply not going to comment on issues that relate to that.
Yeah, no, makes sense. And one of those projects was just in the news the other day. And I want to ask you this generically. If you're looking at a project and saying yes or no, obviously you've got a whole host of things that you're doing, making sure it follows laws and all the regulatory process. You're sort of the referees here to say, okay, yep, you comply, you've made it. The governor mentioned that the project that recently was turned down had 30% support of landowners versus another one you're looking at has 80%. Is that a factor in any project, not specifically to those, but any project where how much landowner support do they have? Can that be a part of the equation?
So our state law lays out the criteria that a project, whether it be a carbon dioxide pipeline or a wind farm or electric transmission line, the criteria that they must meet in order to be entitled to a permit. Our job then is to evaluate the presentation of the project and the application, the testimony that comes through the hearing, the exhibits that are offered at the hearing, to evaluate all of that evidence to determine what are the facts. And then we ask ourselves, do those facts meet the criteria that are laid out in state law? And, I will say in the case of Navigator, which was the one that was turned down by the Public Utilities Commission this week, one of the factors that needs to be met is that the welfare of the inhabitants of the project area can be maintained. And one of the factors that was looked at is that, at this point, only 30% of the landowner route was approved and under easement by the company. And so that was a factor that was considered in this past case. I can make no projection as to how that may or may not enter into the next case that we deal with.
Yeah, makes sense. Are South Dakotans engaged in this? Are you getting a sense? North Dakota, I kind of describe it as, 80% of landowners in North Dakota have signed up, for instance, for the Summit Carbon Solutions Pipeline. And I think overall the whole project has like 73%, but North Dakota, it's 80% of the easements that they need. And people that are granting their easements have already received their compensation and they're waiting for the project to be built. The 20% have not are split into two groups. One, I don't want anything to do with any kind of climate agenda. This is just wrong. So I don't like the idea of carbon management at all. And the other are just, I don't want it where I live. I don't want a pipeline. I'm worried about the safety of it or any of those other things. And it seems to me we hear a lot more from the 20% than we do from the 80%. Is that similar in South Dakota as far as the feedback you're getting from citizens?
Again, I am not going to comment on feedback as it relates to issues related to these pipelines that are in front of us. That was not the purpose of this interview. The interview was to talk about process and schedule, not about details of how folks that are affected, how they view it.
No, I appreciate that, and I understand that's your job. You take an oath
I
to
think
do just
folks have to
exactly that.
understand that whether it's the PSC in North Dakota or Public Utilities Commission in South Dakota, we sit as a judicial body, and we're not a legislative body where we can openly and freely talk about the issues that our constituents care about and the issues of the day, but rather the only discussions that we can have of those issues come about through the formal hearing process where it is open to the public and it's very, very transparent. We, just simply can't comment on issues outside of that process.
That makes sense. By the way, on process, what is next now? Navigator's done. They have to reapply. In the case of Summit Covered Solutions, what is the timeline on that one? Just give us an idea of the process and how that works.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Navigator, their permit was denied this week, and so they have probably three options. One is to ask for reconsideration of our decision. A second is for reapplication. And a third would be to appeal to the court system. And then in the case of Summit, we begin on Monday of next week, what will be 3+ weeks of hearings on that. And I would anticipate a decision on that sometime in October.
Got it. I mentioned ethanol earlier because I know it's a robust part of South Dakota's economy. Does the PUC cite any of the pipelines around ethanol or any of the infrastructure that ethanol needs?
We do not. That's a good question. Obviously, those are very large, very important projects in South Dakota, but we don't have any jurisdiction over those projects itself.
I also want to ask you a little bit of people realize that
and I'm going to make just one amendment to that. If there is some maybe natural gas infrastructure that needs to go to an ethanol plant, we may get involved in approving the tariff rate that the ethanol plant would pay to the natural gas supplier. That may be one area where we would get involved, and you typically what we call that is a contract with deviations, where because an ethanol plant is a unique user of natural gas, they will cut a special contract with the natural gas supplier. And so we do get involved in approving that, but not the facility itself.
Only have about a minute left, but I want to ask you about the grid. And we don't hear enough, in my opinion, about the stability of the electrical grid in America. What kind of a report card would you give it right now?
Great concern. To be quite honest, we see electricity use continuing to increase. The regional transmission organizations that both of our states, whether it be the Southwest Power Pool or Mid-Continent Independent System Operator, those two continue to see new record peaks of consumption both in the summer and in the winter. So we see that increasing. And at the same time, we see the unfortunate closure of some of our stable base load electric generation facilities. And so that continues to crunch the margin that we've got. And it's an area of extreme focus for those of us that believe we need to keep the lights on 24/7, 365.
Yeah, and where do you get your baseload energy in South Dakota from?
Well, we get a lot of it from North Dakota.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got a tremendous amount of wind generation and hydro generation in South Dakota, and a little bit of coal generation. And all of that is very good energy, very cheap energy, but there are times when we need to supplement that, and so we will import coal power from North Dakota or Wyoming. We get a little bit of nuclear power from Minnesota, and
Great.
So it really takes all of those to make
all
it
of the above. All of the above. That's the mantra we should all be preaching. Chris Nelson, great chatting with you, and look forward to watching your work on the Public Service Commission, Public Utilities Commission in South Dakota. Thanks so much.
Very good. Thank you.
Kevin Flynn is on it. 701-271-1100. What do you want to ask Donald Trump? One question. You get one question, and one question only. What is it you ask him? I'm amazed that people I've asked that question of here tend to veer towards, can I tell him how much I love him? Can I tell him how much I support him? Can I tell him how much I'm glad he fights for the country?
No doubt.
But we want to know a question. What do you want to, what didn't Tucker Carlson ask, or any of the other myriad of interviews that he's done?
And there's a line, our main man, Mark Skogerbo, is out finding some more peeps to to ask some questions.
Yeah, they're ready to go right here.
They're ready to go. Yeah.
By the way, we're brought to you today by Pucklich, North Dakota's home for Chevy. Got us here in fine fashion in that beautiful 21 High Country red flagmobile. You can't miss it with the flag license plates. We're everywhere, folks. And the folks at Pucklich truck headquarters. I mean, and just here's the thing that really is the secret sauce of Pucklich Valley City. They have so many longtime customers that buy a new vehicle every year or two, locally owned. You know, literally, these are local. They know these folks. They're well cared for vehicles. They're low mileage. Find a whole host of them online right now. PucklichValleyCity.com, PucklichValleyCity.com. Mark Skogerbo is out in the crowd. Who's next to ask our next question here? This young man. Oh, my goodness. Look at this T-shirt, Kev. See the T-shirt? He has a T-shirt that says Trump Gnome 24.
All right. So my question for President Trump is, why does he continue to do it? You know, after the countless opposition that he's faced and the indictments, I just don't understand why. I mean, he's 77 years old. He's a billionaire. He could be, you know, out somewhere living a comfortable life, playing golf every day, but he continues to fight for the American people.
Why do you think he does? What would his answer be, do you think?
I think because he genuinely loves America and he genuinely cares about every single American citizen. And I don't think that there's a president out there that has cared about everyone. I think Trump is the only one, and I like the fact that he's not a politician. He's a businessman, and America's a business, and he ran it pretty well last time.
That's well said. What's your name?
Jackson Webb.
Where are you from, Jackson?
I am from Spearfish, moved to Spearfish, but I'm originally from Missouri.
And you're how old?
I'm 21.
21 years of age with some great wisdom there. That's pretty cool. Now, you have a Trump Gnome T-shirt. Do you know something we don't know, being a South Dakotan?
I just hope that, you know, if he gives her the opportunity to run as VP, I hope she picks it up. But, you know, if he decides for somebody else, you know, she could always run again in 4 years. I really like her, too, and I wouldn't have a problem voting for her. I think she'd make a great first female American president.
She would be a great VP because she's just a fighter, isn't she? Just like
Yes,
him.
she is. She fights for South Dakota just like he fights for America.
I wonder if there's any other VP candidates that are elk hunting this weekend. She told me she's going elk hunting tomorrow. You know, I mean, that's real America right there, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I love it. What do you love most about South Dakota?
The fact that there's not that many people here.
You like the wide open spaces.
Yes, and the scenery.
And the scenery. And good people, right?
Yep.
Good
And
ones.
them South Dakota girls.
Yeah, exactly.
I
right.
married one.
21 years old with lots of wisdom. Thanks so much for chatting with us.
My pleasure.
Good to see you. We have another man, gentleman here who is adorned in a Make America Great Again shirt and a Stars and Stripes pair of slacks that is styling, the headband, the whole works. You are red, white, and blue.
Front
through and
row
through.
Joe, right?
So would I give you a question now, or do I?
In a sec here. Sure. What's your name?
My name is Greg Smythe.
Where are you from, Greg?
Originally from Stamford, Connecticut, but I reside now in Florida.
And what brings you to Rapid City?
To come see the man the man that's changing the world.
Have you been to other Trump rallies?
Yeah, many.
How many?
About 20.
Unbelievable. If you were right now here next to Donald Trump, what would you ask him?
I want to ask him, what's your favorite sport, and what's your favorite sport that you like to participate in when you were a child, a young kid?
What would that answer tell you?
I know he's a big sports fan. I know he loves sports, and just would love to know which sport that he followed the most, that he was a big fan of. I think I know what it is, but I'd like to hear it from him.
You know, I know some folks that know the president, and when the NDSU Bison were in the national championship, he was watching the game. You know, like an FCS game.
Yeah.
I mean, an FCS game, not an FBS game. He's watching the national championship, and then of course he invited the winning team into the White House. Do you remember what he fed them?
Yeah, McDonald's and Chick-fil-A.
Was that not a great moment or what?
Yeah, it was a great moment. I think he was letting them know that the food is good to eat.
Yeah, no kidding. Great to see you. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you.
You're a patriot, as many of the folks are here. They're just incredible folks. And a few of your texts, by the way, I should get to on this question for Donald Trump, 701-237-1590. To text us, to call us, 701-271-1100. Question for Trump: how will you end the war in Ukraine? How will you end the war in Ukraine? As he said many times, it never would have happened had he been there. Here's another: would you pardon Joe Biden of his crimes? Do you think of Joe Biden's family members' assets should be frozen or seized if found guilty of corruption? Keep those questions coming, folks, because we're pretty sure we're going to be chatting with the president, 45th president of the United States, a little later on today. So our special broadcast from Rapid City for the coverage of the 45th President of the United States, Donald Trump, to the neighborhood, Rapid City, South Dakota. You can reach us from North Dakota, but you can't touch us. Is brought to you by our friends at Dakota Refrigeration, celebrating 50 years. Also brought to you by Matt Moxness, Nodak Mutual,
Strata
Strong, right?
Oh,
Strata Strong. And
I took a few yards out of the back of a Strata truck.
great place to work, by the way. Great place to work. That's for sure.
Yeah, they're hiring.
And also, we're brought to you by Mark Wagner and ND Estate Services. You can call Mark at 701-318-0908, 701-318-0908, or see him online at ndestateservices.com, ndestateservices.com. Kev, has it been fun talking to these folks or what?
Oh, amazing. I mean, it renews my faith, these getting together with these patriots, and MAGA, call us whatever you want. And I keep seeing Mel Gibson at the end of Braveheart just screaming freedom. The bottom line of all of this is freedom. Get out of our business, get out of our homes, get out of our bedrooms, get out of our cars, get out of our gas stations, and just let us flourish. And
let America be America.
Let America be America.
Unleash American energy.
Please.
Unleash the entrepreneurial spirit of North Dakota.
Entrepreneurial all around us.
Get a regulatory framework that allowed things like, the airplane. Can you imagine today?
Exactly. Oh, I know.
The Wright brothers trying to, get a plane in the air?
Oh, that's
There's
a great
way.
point.
There's no way.
No way.
Thomas
I'm sorry.
Edison. Think of all the great American ingenuity, and right now we're regulating all that away.
You might shock yourself. You can't be playing with that, whatever that is.
I have a friend who's very, very influential in the pharmaceutical world and vaccines and all kinds of different things. Wicked smart. Won't say his name, but he said absolutely positive we would have a cure for cancer right now, but for the FDA.
Wow. Yeah.
Think about that.
Yep.
Think about how millions of lives there has been ruined. So that's what freedom is all about. And there are some patriots here that are celebrating Donald Trump, and we're going to chat with a few of them. My question of the day, what would you ask Donald Trump? One question. What's your name?
My name is Carla.
Hi, Carla. Where are you from?
I'm from California.
Are you really?
Yes.
We have a pretty good contingent of Californians here, don't we? Have you met any of them?
I think I met one so far.
Is that right? There's a
but we're here early.
Do you still live there?
Yes, and what I'd like to let your listeners know is that California, like that man said, he called it communist California, and it really is not. Actually, California is a red state. It's just because of the fraudulent machines,
Thank you.
It turned it blue.
Minnesota's suffering the same problem, I believe.
So you don't. What part of California you live in?
Southern California.
And you don't.
Orange County.
Your neighbors aren't woke.
No.
So
at least the people I'm around, but I just know that California actually was red that was turned blue.
Very interesting. I'd like to do a little test. What's the biggest stadium in California? Be where the Rams play, or would it be Rose Bowl?
No,
Yeah.
where the Rams play.
Okay, where the Rams
that's
play.
a new
So
stadium.
there's probably 70,000, 80,000 people.
No,
there.
that's the Rose Bowl.
Your Rose Bowl's bigger?
100,000 people. Yeah.
Is it really? Wow.
It doesn't look like it.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't. It's so kind of quaint. But anyway,
Go there once.
the test would be this.
Yes.
Joe Biden at the Rose Bowl.
Would be booed
How many
and
people
thrown
come?
trash.
Is that right?
Oh, how many people would come?
Yeah. 15, 20?
Well, if he paid them, maybe 12.
See, that's my big question. If he could even do that, even in California.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But what he would have is a bunch of people outside. I don't think he'd ever get in because he'd be so booed and so much trash thrown at him.
In California.
Yes.
You're predicting this. Wow.
No, I know it.
It's amazing. Okay,
Yes.
so what question would you ask President Trump?
Well, I know I'm so proud of him for draining the swamp and working on that. I'm also really proud that he's so much helping with trafficking of human trafficking and child trafficking. So my question would be to him, what has been should I let this go by
you're okay.
first?
We can hear you.
Oh, okay.
School bus is dropping more people
Yeah,
off
that's
here.
nothing over my voice.
Exactly.
Okay. So my question would be, what was his personal greatest victory in that? And what has been his greatest challenge?
Interesting. How do you think he'd answer? Greatest victory, what would it be?
I think the children mean the most to him. So I would think, because that was one of his first executive orders. So I would think that the child trafficking would be his greatest. And I would say that when he would say what challenge, I feel he would say, there's never been a challenge.
He probably would.
That would be my guess.
Yeah.
That it's all been easy for him.
But it really hasn't, even though he seems like it has. You look at what they've thrown at him, it's unbelievable. The swamp is how I would answer what's the biggest challenge. They're
But he so beautifully plays them with his 5D chess. So therefore, I think he tries to make it look a certain way, but he has it completely under control.
This has been my theory of Donald Trump since the day he came down the escalator. The man is playing chess and everybody else is playing checkers.
Well, he's playing 5D chess,
right,
which is beyond what anybody can imagine.
Well, it's beyond me.
It's beyond all of us.
5D
But that's
chess.
why he's the man.
I love it. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you very much.
And I love your shirt. Jesus is King.
Yes, thank you.
Jesus is King. Amen to that. Absolutely. These people are filled with faith. These people are filled with freedom and patriotism. It's amazing. They're God-loving, Constitution-revering patriots. It's fantastic. All right, who's next, Mark? Who's next?
Oh,
Maggie's? Okay, what's your name?
My name is Connie.
Come a little bit closer to that microphone, Connie.
My name is Connie.
Where's Connie from?
Veblen, South Dakota.
Where is Veblen? That's up in Northeast, isn't it?
Yep. Very Northeast.
Very Northeast. Yeah, great. Yeah. So, Connie, tell me what the question you would ask Donald Trump.
Well, we just so much appreciate where he's coming from in his loyalty to the United States. And how would he squelch the fears of China and what's happening in Russia and the Ukraine? How would he do that as president? And also my second question would be, how is Melania holding up?
What an amazing woman. You think about raising a young son in Barron, and
right.
I had the pleasure to be at Mar-a-Lago one time and see the president, and met her parents, Melania's parents, who stay often at Mar-a-Lago as well. And I said to him, we so appreciate Melania for her inner beauty and outer beauty. I mean, she's as beautiful inside as she is out. And every interview she's ever done, everything you've ever seen her do with the Be Best thing or anything else, it just shows. And she doesn't care if she gets the credit, doesn't care about anything, just keeps trotting along. She is amazing, isn't she?
She's a genuine human being. Yes.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yes.
Is Veblen, South Dakota, Trump country?
I would say not really.
Is that right? Is it a little more?
We like to put a flag on our hill that says
Trump. 2024, right?
Exactly.
And do you get grief for that?
Pardon?
Do some people give you grief for putting a Trump 2024 flag up?
Sort of, yeah.
Is that right?
And so we're hesitant. We need to stay calm with our neighbors, friends with our neighbors.
That's too bad, though, isn't it?
It is. It really is.
They can be for Joe Biden. You can be for Donald Trump, but it's America.
And we need to get him a rocking chair.
Joe?
We need to get Joe Biden a rocking chair and just put him in a nursing home.
Kevin Flynn is going to be performing for this crowd coming up at the bottom of the hour. You're not going to want to miss this. What are you doing, Kev? Can you give us a little preview of the plan?
Well, we're getting ready. We're getting. I'm going to prove that a song, as it did in my head, can get stuck in your head and not leave for at least 3 weeks. And I'm pretty sure that everybody in this line has got that song burned in their brain. So I'm not going to tell you what it is. We'll just see how the crowd reacts coming up here in just a bit.
All right. We're going to entertain them a little bit today, and looking forward to that. So don't go anywhere. That's going to happen at the bottom of the hour. Telephone number 701-271-1100. Text number 701-237-1590. You can email us studio at whatsonyourmindradio.com. Question of the day, one question for Donald Trump. What would it be? Let us know. 701-271-1100. A gentleman here that is wearing a familiar logo, and that is usflagpoleguy.com. How you doing, sir?
I'm great, Scott. How are you this morning?
I'm wonderful. Tell me your name.
My name's Eric Butler, and I'm the Chief Operations Officer for US Flagpole Guy. All of you guys out there listen, you probably hear Jimmy and Scott every Thursday morning along about 9:30. And I'm a part of that company and a longtime friend of Jim's.
He is an amazing individual, isn't he?
He is. He's a veteran. He's a Marine. He's a great businessman and a great friend.
Jim, the flagpole guy, they now have a shop in Mandan, by the way, where you can stop and get flags and repair flags and all kinds of accessories. Plus, obviously, Jim is wonderful at coming to your home, your business, and erecting a flag in just fine fashion. He did ours on top of our building right along I-29. And in fact, I called him yesterday, and I told him there's somebody in Fargo, North Dakota that wants to have the largest flag and the largest flagpole in North Dakota built. So Jim's on the job. That's going to be his winter project.
That'll be a winter project. Yep. And what's cool is, as you know, it was ND flagpole guy for years. We wanted to go national. Jim called people together. I was one of those. And he says, well, if we're going to go national, we need some other states. And I live in South Dakota, and he says, there's our first state. You're the dealer. Go figure it out.
Do you sense something different in the air as it pertains to patriotism and flying the flag these days?
Our whole base as a company is Christian, Constitution, Patriot. And that all links together. Our founding father truly was God. And from there, we had our founding fathers that codified our rights given by God. That's our Constitution, our Declaration of Independence, our Bill of Rights. And those that are patriots believe in that. And that's the basis of our country. That's the basis of what we're doing as U.S. flagpole guy. And it's what people are wanting, thirsting for. They want to show that. And displaying that flag is the ultimate way of saying, I am an American patriot.
And by the way, one of the reasons that Jim, the flagpole guy, was able to go national with usflagpoleguy.com is because he can't be everywhere. And now you have these kits where people can order the parts and know they have the quality and U.S.-made flags and flagpoles, right?
Exactly. Our web page is up and running. We're beginning to build an organization here in South Dakota. One person coming on board shortly, and another person just talked with this morning, actually, that would be interested in coming on as a dealer and working with us.
Fantastic. usflagpoleguy.com. Thanks for stopping by and saying hi, and God bless you.
Scott, thank you, and God bless everybody coming today, and we just pray you watch over President Trump.
Today and every day.
Every day,
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Unbelievable. Tucker Carlson asked him the question, I believe it was Tucker, do you fear that they will try to assassinate you? And he answered without answering by saying, they're vicious. They're vicious. So there are people here that sincerely pray for his safety regularly, which I think is a beautiful thing because it's not up to us. Mark, what do you think's going on out there with this crowd? They seem to be growing in numbers and not weary one bit that they're standing in line from the early morning hours until they can get in here, which isn't until 2:30 this afternoon. It's amazing.
You know, when you're happy, you don't get very tired. You know, you don't need any sleep when you're jacked up. There's so much adrenaline here. The people are just bouncing around. Everybody you talk to loves God and country and Donald Trump. You know, they want the children and grandchildren, and in my case, great-grandchildren, to have the same pursuit of happiness, the same liberty, the same opportunities that our founding fathers gave us.
What do you think the founding fathers would think of today's America?
Well, they'd be absolutely sickened by the culture. Secondly, we wouldn't have had the 16th income tax amendment. We wouldn't have the 17th amendment, which took the election of senators away from state legislators and made it a money cow for people like some senators get less than 10% of their money from their home states. But primarily the cultural thing, like George Washington told the Native Americans, it's good for you to learn our culture and be educated, but the most important thing you got to have is our religion, Jesus Christ, to be happy and worthwhile. The founding fathers believed in equality for all and love your neighbor as yourself, no matter what color, or if he's Samaritan or black or yellow or whatever.
Yeah, well said. That's for sure. You mentioned the 17th Amendment. That's one I think should get more attention because that could single-handedly change how mean, there'd be accountability.
Accountability.
that there
There's none
isn't
right now.
Yeah, because now somebody can run for Senate and win it by buying it. Right.
Well,
and if your bosses are the state legislators who are the closest elected to the peoples in each state, you have a whole different chain of accountability.
Instead of having millions of dollars from all over the country, that would immediately become a campaign issue. In South Dakota, you would have 105 bosses, each of whom representing 25,000 people. It would be the number one issue for me. Who is going to be your choice for United States Senate, one of the most powerful debating body on earth?
No, very true. And, look at every poll, the direction of America, the faith in the future, all these things are down. I would think, given that people are just right now disgusted with the direction of this country, the 17th Amendment repeal could happen. Now, what has to happen to do it?
Okay, on October 2nd, I'm having petitions to repeal the 17th Amendment at the Grand Gateway Hotel, October 2nd. I'll give you in Rapid City.
All right. And we'll have you on before that, too, because that's only a month away and is important. When we come back.
No, December 2nd.
December?
December 2nd.
Okay, December 2nd. Kevin Flynn is right now holding a guitar. He's standing in front of a very large crowd of Trump faithful, and he's about to surprise them with a little something here. So let's check this out.
All right, y'all. Can I have your attention for a second? I want to do a little social experiment with you guys. Would that be okay? Yeah. All right. So about 3 weeks ago, this dude stood in his backyard and sang a song, and it was the most resonating, stuck in my brain song I've ever had the pleasure of hearing. And the minute I heard it, I thought, man, this is it. This is what it's all about. The only guy, what he sings about in this song, everything that he sings about, all the problems he sings about, in my humble opinion, there's only one man that's going to be able to fix it. What's his name? I've been selling my soul. By the way, you can sing along to this. Working on pay. Sorry. And right here on the radio. My troubles away. I'm down, drink my life away. Lord, it's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me and people like you. Just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Yes, it is. Living in the new world. Come on. With no soul. Don't know the words? Richmond, north of Richmond. Just want to have total control. Want to know what you think. Want to know what you do. Want to know and you know. But I know that you do. Dollar ain't crap. It's taxing to death. It's rich men. North the rich man. Wish politicians would look out for minors, not just minors on an island somewhere. We got folks in the street, ain't got nothing to eat. And obese wealth and milking welfare. Well, just 5'3", 300 pounds. Taxes ought not pay for your bag of fudge rounds. Because there's men in the street putting themselves 6 feet in the ground. Lord, it's a damn shame what this world's gotten to. People like me and people like you. Wish I could wake up and it not be true, but it is. Yes, it is. Living in the new world. With no soul. Yeah, the rich man north of Richmond just want to have total control. Want to know what you think. Want to know what you do. Know you know better, but I know that you do. Dollar ain't crap. It's taxed to no end. It's rich men north of rich men. I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bull crap pay. God bless y'all.
Oh my God!
little rough.
Oh, it's beautiful. Fantastic. And this gentleman right here was singing along with every word. I mean, that song's been out less than a month. How do you know every word?
I memorized it since day one. I tell you, it resonates with every person there is that's busting their back, paying taxes, getting nowhere. End of the day, you give it all to the government, and what do? They become millionaires off you. Okay, so that song is the new blue-collar anthem for America, and people can feel it, and that's why it's hit, I think, 55 million views plus over now in 3 weeks.
You got a great vest, by the way, saying "There's no life without freedom." Got a little Sturgis patch there from the Black Hills Motor Classic, and this patch is my favorite. Only 2 in all of history ever died for freedom all over the world: Jesus Christ and the American soldier. That is so true. So true. Thanks for wearing that.
Yeah, thank you.
By the way, your hat it says winning. Are we winning?
Well, we're going to win, and we are winning, and we want to get more winning. And we won't stop winning until President Trump is in that White House again and straightening out this country and going to prosecute those criminals that have been occupying it for the last 3 years.
If you have a chance to ask him a question, what would you ask him?
I'd say, President Trump, your first time around, you were a good president, but you gave all those criminals a pass. When you become president again, will you prosecute each and every single one of them and put them in prison where they belong? Lock them up. That's my question.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you very much. Appreciate you stopping by. Other folks here want to weigh in with a question or two. And it's the line's getting so long now, nobody wants to get out of line because they don't want to lose their spot. You notice that, Kev?
Yeah.
They're like, hey, this is the lawn chairs are out. It really is quite a sight. And again, these people already have tickets. They know they're getting in. They just want a better seat. It's pretty incredible. Let's get to a few texts here. I promised I would, and I haven't. Let's see here. Somebody wants us to play the original Richmond, North Richmond as well and compare it to Kev's rendition. I'd say it'd come pretty darn close. Pretty darn close. It was fun. Everybody's singing along, having a great time. Another listener says, Donald Trump had less than a handful of people that he could remotely trust when president. They're destroying anyone that knows him, either by jailing or destroying their financial resources to these ludicrous, no-based lawsuits. Here's the question. How will he pick an administration, and who would he have the courage to go into that administration knowing what could happen to them and their families? Good question. Really good question, because I think if we can be critical at all of the first term of the president, it was the fact that he learned very early on that he was fighting a lot of the swamp, right? I mean, and the people he appointed.
I know.
People he appointed. You know, like Rex Tillerson, the first Secretary of State. I mean, terrible pick. Mike Pompeo, fantastic, right? He got it right. But knowing that now, what would he do? You know, Kevin, I had a friend, Hogan Gidley, who you see on Newsmax once in a while. Hogan is works with America First now, the Trump policy on. And Hogan was a deputy press secretary to Sarah Huckabee Sanders in the White House. And when the Bison were there, I got to see my old friend, hadn't seen him in a while, Hogan, and I just said, how's it going, brother? None of this on the air, just kind of nose to nose, good to see you. And he said, well, it's a battle every day. He said, you know, the day we walked in here, he said 80% of this place was against us.
Wow.
And I said, what do you mean, like the swamp, the whole DC? He said, no, the White House complex, people that are in the executive branch.
Oh, yeah.
80-20. He said, this was about 2 years in when the Bison were there.
I believe that. Absolutely.
He said, we've got it down now to about 70-30, but it's still a battle every single day. Now ask yourself this question. If you run a popcorn stand,
right,
and you have 10 people in the back that stuff popcorn things to ship all over the world, and you're the president and CEO, and 8 out of the 10 of those people hate you, can't stand you, wants this business to fail and you to fail, how do you get up every day and operate in an environment like that? And that's what I think people don't understand about Donald Trump, because he did operate in that and got a heck of a lot done.
And now what he does is he took a few years off, he comes back and he fires them all. You know, no more apprentice. And you get his pink slip, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you. Bye.
I forget the number, but
now he'll know who to fire.
I want to say it's like 73,000 appointments a president can make. And the vast majority of them, you know, put in 100, 200, right? They don't do many. They do some that are close to them. And a lot of those are bureaucrats that stay, and they're part of the problem. So that's something in my mind. If you talk about term limits, The term limits that would make the biggest difference in this country is if you term limited civil servants. And also, by the way, I would add to that list, besides civil servants, anybody that is a staff member for members of Congress.
Right. Yeah.
You think Dianne Feinstein is deciding anything right now? She's deciding what flavor pudding she's going to have for breakfast. That's about it. Her staff is running the show. They are the senator from California.
Yep.
That's not America.
I would imagine Mitch is the same way.
Well, and there are Republicans in the same boat.
There's all levels of decline when you get older.
Yeah, there is.
That's what we're dealing with.
And there's
I don't care what party you're in.
They love the power. They love the power. Now, I honestly believe, and some people don't believe me on this, I think Kevin Cramer hates it. I think he tolerates it because he cares about this country and he's able to make change.
Yep.
You know what I mean? He can do some things as a senator that he couldn't otherwise do.
Right.
Many examples of that. But he doesn't live for that job. That doesn't define him.
From what I know of him.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
Now, I think Senator Hoban, somebody that probably would have retired after 2 terms, said, I'm going to go one more, is a little more entrenched in it, but same thing. I mean, there's a guy who has Donald Trump, well, not quite Donald Trump, but enormous wealth.
Yeah.
Governor Hoban was very successful, came from a banking family, and is a wealthy man. He doesn't need to be in Washington, D.C. So, I mean, I think Kevin and I joke about this all the time because he lives in Minnesota and I live in North Dakota. You take our 2 10 ways to Sunday.
I'll trade you governors too, by the way.
Your 2. Oh, yeah, I see he's up to no good now.
Oh, man.
You see what he did? I love this. He says he is for a special session to address this horrific issue that Minnesota schools today do not have school resource officers in the schools because of Minnesota law. Minnesota law. Democrats did that. They crammed that into an education omnibus bill.
Yep.
So now,
on his watch,
there was so much of a firestorm over this. Walsh says, well, you know what? I'm for a special session.
Yeah.
But guess what? Dirty little secret John Hinderocker told us yesterday. The DFL caucus met and the majority said, we don't want a special session.
Wow.
So politically, he can go out and say, I want one. He knows one's not going to happen.
I thought we were protecting the kids. What the hell? Come on, it's for the children.
That is
Nancy.
Politics, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it is. Listener says, question for our real president. Your next administration, how will you surround yourself with true patriots and not rhino plants that will sabotage you? Same theme, different person asking the question. It's an important one. Absolutely. Short break, back with more from beautiful Rapid City, South Dakota. We're at the Monument Civic Center downtown. Counting down to Donald Trump taking the stage. Back with more after this. Don't go away. Hey, Mark Stokerbo, the freedom poet over there. We have time for one more or 2. These folks want to join us and ask what question they'd like to ask Donald Trump. We will certainly fit them in here in our final segment for our question today. But some fascinating answers. Really have been pretty amazing. So enjoy that a great deal. We are live in Rapid City. President Trump's visit is coming up. Look at this young lady. She has a shirt that says Miss Mount Trumpmore. Make the liberals cry forever.
I love it.
And Donald Trump is on the mountain right there. Boy, would they squeal, huh? I mean, he just showed up in Mount Rushmore and they about had a fit. Can you step up right to that microphone? Where are you from?
Estes Park, Colorado.
Oh, my goodness. So that's a little bit of a drive.
Yes, it's worth it.
It's worth it?
Yes.
Have you been to other Donald Trump events?
Nope, this is our first one.
Is that right?
Yes.
Wow.
But we are hardcore Trump supporters.
Good for you. How many of you are, and how many are like-minded in Colorado, would you say?
Not many anymore.
I was going to say.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Gotten a little radical, a little woke in Colorado, has
Oh,
it?
yeah, we're turning blue.
That's why you care. You're a patriot and you're going to do your part to
You bet we are.
keep Colorado red. It's been kind of purple, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's when we first moved there 40 years ago, it was pretty red. It's slowly moving.
Wow. If you could ask President Trump anything, any question, what would it be?
Are you really going to be able to clear out Washington, D.C. of all the crazies?
You know, that is the theme of the questions that we've received today. People just saying, how would you do it differently? How do you mitigate this? Because really, he's got one arm tied behind his back with that swamp, doesn't he?
Oh, yes, he does. That's part of the problem. The other thing we need is term limits on these people.
And their staffs, as
And
we
their
were talking
staffs.
earlier. Yes,
Absolutely.
exactly right. Wonderful. What is your, if somebody asked you, why are you so supportive of Donald Trump? What's the one thing that is in your heart that you really believe people need to know about Donald Trump?
he means the best for America. He really wants us to get back to the way we used to be and cut out all this crazy liberal stuff.
Nobody else on the stage has that same passion, do they?
No, I don't think they do. I don't think they have the ability to do it either.
Fascinating. Great talking to you. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks.
Safe travels back to Colorado. Dave and Rolla, let's get you in here quick on what's on your mind. Go ahead.
You ask him if he can propose legislation that no elected legislator gets retirement pay. They can go get real jobs, and most of them go into Congress and come out much richer than when they went in. Thank you.
You know, that is interesting. Good approach. The one thing I think you'd have to worry about there, though, is that I'll give you Kevin Kramer as an example, just because I know him. Kevin was many years in the private sector, worked at the University of Mary, did a number of things, volunteer for the Republican Party, a good Republican, but he was in the private sector. Okay, he's not a person of wealth. I mean, he spent a long time in the private sector, making enough to get by and raise his family, but not a wealthy man. Then he runs for the Public Service Commission and wins that race. Okay, then he ran for Congress and won. Then he ran for the Senate and won. But this is not a wealthy person. If you said all of that time, and he's 60-some right now, so if you said, okay, from your time as a Public Service Commission member to the time when you leave the Senate, you only have what you have there. You don't get the same benefits as somebody else with a 401k or a pension. I think you're going to limit the pool. I think you'll end up with a lot of Mitt Romneys in those positions because they don't care about the retirement because they got zillions of dollars. So I understand the premise, but I just think, Kev, what do you think?
Yeah, hang on.
I mean,
there's just too much money. There's too much money in all of it. I mean, and not all of it. Kevin's not one of those guys, but man, look at some of the people that have millions and millions of dollars that they enrich themselves with. It's like that meme that says some members of Congress need to wear like a NASCAR suit with all of their patches all over them for whoever's buying them, and again, that I like Nikki Haley, but again, South Carolina, big fan of defense and the people that wage it. Everybody's got somebody to answer to.
Absolutely. Hey, this has been so much fun. I hate the fact that we have to go off the air now. But the good news is we're going inside, and soon we'll begin live streaming what's happening there once the doors open at 2:30. We'll talk with folks in the lead up. Program starts at 5 o'clock, and we expect the president to take the stage somewhere between 7 and 7:30 tonight, flying in from Bedminster, New Jersey.
And make sure to follow the Flag Facebook page. The majority on Flag East, AM 1100, theflag.com. KTGO's got it as well. But yeah, we'll be on there all day and all night.
Thanks to our sponsors who made this broadcast possible. They include Mad Moxness, Nodak Insurance, as well as Strata Strong. Great career opportunities await for you at Strata. They are doing so much work. It's unbelievable. That's job security, folks, and great paying jobs. Also brought to you by ND Estate Services. Think about an irrevocable living trust and what it can do in saving so much pain and agony when the family member you most love passes away, mom and dad. To have all of that planned out, no squabbling, everything else, that's priceless. It really is. Give Mark a call, ndestateservices.com, ndestateservices.com. And also brought to you today by Dakota Refrigeration. 50 years they're celebrating. Our best to Mike and the crew, his son, and the whole team at Dakota Refrigeration. Been doing what they've been doing for 50 years, which is a great, great tradition. It's one of those get it done kind of North Dakota businesses that just takes care of so many folks. Every restaurant, every bar, every grocery store, I think all the places that need refrigeration, and they do it.
Freezers,
They do it well. So it's been fun. Kev?
Yeah, buddy.
It's been real.
Awesome. Let's go attack the day now.
We're going to attack the day, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back on Monday. Got a full show Monday for you. Back in the friendly confines of our Flag studio.
An invite or a conversation with
President Donald Trump.
Certain former president.
Exactly right. That could be Monday as well. Once we lock this down, we're going to go do it right now. God bless. Have a great weekend.
Did you know that the oil and